Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We are heading back into r/AmITheDevil because, yeah, sometimes people do horrendous stuff, and even after everybody else telling them no, for some reason they still have to ask people on the internet whether or not what they did was actually bad. So, you know, if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment down below to start up the wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. And if you guys would like to save 10% with your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout, or click the link down below. It'll apply it automatically to your transaction, and it helps support the channel. Would I be the a-hole for withholding mail until fees are paid? Well, considering that's a federal offense, no dip. I, 37F, am fortunate enough to be the head of the HOA in a large neighborhood. And of 139 households, 102 of them are currently in the association, though a large portion of them are getting a little too comfortable with breaking the rules. I know that this sounds bad, and lots of you don't like HOAs, but hear me out on this. When people move in, they were given a complete and detailed copy of the HOA guidelines, and I felt like they were more than fair. But recently I've gotten some families who beg to disagree. Yes, and what exactly are those things that they happen to be breaking? One of the rules we set in place were no cars in driveways for the winter. If you want your walkways and roads clear, any street with a car in the driveway and not in the garage will not be plowed. Fair and clear, right? They need somewhere to push all of that snow. Better your driveway than the lawn. No, literally just put it on the lawn. It's better. But nearly everybody had cars in their driveways. Oh gee, I wonder what those are supposed to be there for. You know, it's kind of as if the driveway is supposed to be where you put the damn car. So we didn't plow. But then they started calling the Bureau, and the Bureau is plowing my neighborhood. So the board and I held a vote where we decided that anybody caught calling the Bureau to plow the roads would be fined. Most people complied and just dealt with snowy roads. But one house in particular, I'm not 100% sure that's a word I can say, but you know, a person of not much interest keeps getting the road plowed, and as punishment, we've been withholding mail for the whole street. What are you, some kind of 4th grade math teacher or something? What the shit? The young man in question lives alone, maybe in his 20s. He is not some big shot, but he is threatening me with court for stealing his mail, as he rightfully should. Like I said at the beginning, it's kind of illegal to do that. It's not theft. He can come to my house and get it once he pays his fines. Like I said, what are you? You're not his mother. But a number of his neighbors have joined him, and now I'm afraid. What, afraid that your common sense will eventually kick in and realize what you've done wrong is actually wrong? I feel like applying this to the whole neighborhood might keep them in check, but I'm worried it might actually be overstepping a boundary by doing that. Would I be the a-hole? No shit. You know, as much as I want this to be fake, and unfortunately, I feel like it might not be, because there are people out there that will have absolutely nothing to do with their life, but because they have an HOA going in play, they feel like, oh, I can just join that, and then for some reason, the sense of authority that you have makes you feel like you're perfectly fine to do this, and this is why if I ever do get my own place, it will not have an HOA if I can frickin' help it. That is for shit sure. And if for some reason I'm not able to avoid the HOA, you know damn sure that you are going to hear about the stories on this channel. That is absolutely certain. And really, thinking that, oh yeah, hey, let's make it so that you have to have your cars parked. You can't park your cars on the driveway because we need to be able to push snow into your driveway when we plow the streets. Well, and you can't park it on the street because the plows will be coming through. Where do you want them to park the cars anyways? Also, if plows are coming through, they're going to be spewing shit everywhere that's going to get on your yard. Hate to break it to you, that's going to kind of happen. Usually with places like that, you got a 1 to 2 car garage at the most. And, God forbid, maybe somebody has a third car, or, maybe they can't park their car in their garage. Are you going to hold their mail because they're not able to park their car in the garage? Really? If you do that to the whole neighborhood, and the whole neighborhood takes you to court, you are going to lose because what you're doing is very much illegal. But no, for some reason you thought, I'm not entirely sure I'm in the wrong. Let me ask Reddit. And, maybe after a while it'll start to click. My 37M, married with my wife 33F, is tail spinning because of Thanksgiving. How can I make this better? My wife, 33F, and I, 37M, have been together for 10 years. We just bought a pretty big house together. We've been saving for a long time and have made big sacrifices to be in the position that we are in. This was our first Thanksgiving, and my wife asked if we could host her mother's side for Thanksgiving. She said that she could include my mom and sister. I was happy to oblige and share our new home with our family. Somehow, someway, her family started inviting extended family, and now the guest list was up to 30 people. I tried to have a lot of aloha in my heart, and was happy to welcome them all. About a month before Thanksgiving, I found out my cousin's alcoholism is getting the best of him, and he's living at a park in the next town over. I know he's a mess up, but he has been dealt a tough hand since we were kids. He lived with us for a couple of years when we were young because his mom was off doing God knows what. He's like a brother to me, and it fills me with great sadness to now see that he's living in his car. I asked if he can come to Thanksgiving. My wife said no. This is not the first time that she has asked that my family not be invited to a big party that we are hosting. I begged for weeks and weeks. I asked her mom and stepdad if he can come. They said no, it's not the right time. I threatened to just cancel because I felt so hurt by this. I conceded, but I told them all that I'm disappointed. I took it like a champ and hosted a successful Thanksgiving for them. My brother-in-law, 23, brought his buddy on over. This kid isn't even family, and he was just a willy-nilly invited. It hurt. I can't get over this ugly feeling. I feel like her family is domineering my life. A part of me feels like I'm playing a crazy high mortgage just to feel like I don't belong in my own house. Our relationship is growing colder than it's ever been. We barely talk, and literally, for the first time ever, feel like I'm falling out of love with her. She loves her family, especially her mom, more than she loves me. I visit my cousin at the park. He's sober, probably not by choice, but at least he's doing better. I have zero reservations about being there for her family. It burns me to the core that these people don't want to be burdened by my loved ones. How do I make sure this BS never happens again? I was a little curious about what would be the reason that this one specific person is not invited, and looking in the comments, people stating that likely something that was taken out from the original story that wasn't posted in the archived part of it was that he was kind of a creep on women, and plus also anybody that is more inebriated than they are sober. That isn't really somebody that I would want inviting to a party myself, just because I don't really like to be around that kind of people. I'm not much of a fan of people inviting other people that I'm not aware of to something that I invited only explicitly them there, so, that frustration I can understand. But if there's a reason that this one person, the other people don't want inviting, then there's a reason. That's it. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay my girlfriend rent? And so I, 28M, moved in with my girlfriend, 23F, 3 months ago. We have been together for 7 months. It'll be 8 just after Christmas. We moved in together so quickly because my lease was ending, and we knew that we didn't want a whole year to move in together. Before moving in, she told me that my share was $400 a month plus half of utilities and half of groceries, which I happily paid. But we've had several arguments along the way. I don't know the total of her mortgage, but It was a slum before she did renovations, so I imagine that it was pretty cheap. Firstly, she was upset with me not doing chores. I don't see a problem with the house getting a little messy, but she told me to help out or pay an extra $100 a month to cover her time of playing maid. I had the extra $100 and that was that. Though I find it ridiculous that she expects the place to be clean all of the time, and I could have put that money to use in many other ways. It's not like I'm a slob, but she doesn't like dishes left in the sink. She expects them to be immediately washed and put in the dishwasher. She wants things cleaned as they happen, so it feels like there's no relaxing. Dude, that's just to keep from shit piling up. Then I wanted to get a dog. My girlfriend already has a dog of her own. One of the small breeds. He's 14, so he's not very playful or energetic. Just a boring guy. I found a puppy that I fell in love with. She was a purebred English Mastiff and gorgeous. I told my girlfriend, and she flat out said no. That she didn't want another dog in the house, it bothers me, and she definitely didn't want a puppy to ruin her newly remodeled house. I thought a nice compromise would be a cat, and she claimed that she's allergic, but she never mentioned any allergies before. So there's yet another thing that I get no say in. It's not like her dog is going to be around much longer. We could just keep the puppy separate from him until then. I'm sure after her dog passes, she would find another excuse to not let me get a dog. Finally, I found out that she owns the house. I had been under the impression that she was renting, but she instead is paying the mortgage. I discovered this when I was checking the mail and found a reminder from her bank. When I confronted her, she claimed that she thought I knew because we were together when she was remodeling. I told her it was ridiculous for me to pay her rent when it's her house, and this led to a long and heated argument. I asked to be put on the title since I was helping her pay for it, and she snickered and told me no. I told her I wouldn't be paying anymore, and she asked if I wanted to help packing or if I could handle it myself. I asked her what she meant, and she said I can help pay or I can find somewhere else to live. I asked if our relationship was over, and she said that we would continue to pursue without living together. Naturally, I flipped out, because if I can't live together, then we have no future together. She doesn't seem to care in the slightest, and told me that she expects me out by the end of the week. She locked me out of our bedroom, so I stuck on the couch. She sits boxes and bags with my belongings in the hall every so often. When I called my mom, she told me that I was being ridiculous and a brat, but I feel that might be because she doesn't want me to move back home, as the lease I had at my apartment ended when I moved in with my girlfriend, so I think I need some outside perspective. As for now, our relationship has ended, and my belongings are outside while I'm staying in a motel, but I am open to trying to recover our relationship. I have edited to add more clarification and elaboration to show that I'm not a POS. We might not be compatible, or maybe we are both the problem. I don't know. Am I the a-hole? Yeah. Renting a house and doing a loan to be able to purchase a house with a mortgage are not too off when it comes to how different they are. It very much just comes down to who owns the house, the bank or some landlord. If you're renting houses, then the landlord is the one that has to do the renovations. If the bank owns it, then you have to do it. Also, really just the general thing of leaving plates around is not a good practice to get into. They'll pile up and they're annoying as heck in order to take care of, so it really just, it doesn't take that much effort. All you gotta do is just, when you're finished using a plate, you just scrub it and then you stick it in the dishwasher. How are you complaining about that? It's an extra 15 to 20 seconds at the most. You're really sounding more stupid the more I say it. Am I the AH? We were too harsh? My F23F boyfriend 27M is dealing with legal issues, which prevent him from getting a job. So his dad, 64M, pays for almost everything. I've been staying at his dad's house, where he also lives. I don't pay rent, but I basically rooted myself here, with clothes and even a spot in the shower. My boyfriend often calls his dad an old redacted, and I'm starting to see why. He's confronted his dad many times, being nice, reasonable, stern, etc. But his dad always makes excuses or says, "This is my house, and I can sometimes do what I want." Yesterday morning, December 6th, my boyfriend went downstairs to the bathroom, and I stayed in bed. A few minutes later, I woke up to him yelling at his dad. His dad accused one of us of throwing away a green bottle of conditioner. My boyfriend denied it and tried to come up with logical explanations, but his dad wouldn't budge. I went downstairs and my boyfriend asked that if I had touched anything. He already knew I didn't, but asked to prove a point. I said no and went to the bathroom. When I came out, my boyfriend explained that his dad thought that we threw away a bottle with sentimental value because it belonged to his late wife, my boyfriend's mom, who passed 10 years ago. Neither of us knew about the bottle's existence until his dad accused us. My boyfriend got furious and kept arguing with him, and his dad threatened to cut him off financially, something that he does often. My boyfriend replied, "What else are you going to take? My car?" I pulled him upstairs to avoid further arguing. Later, my boyfriend called his aunt about a bonsai tree hobby. She ended up screaming at him, accusing us of throwing away the bottle. My boyfriend asked me to explain the situation, so I texted her since his dad tends to paint himself as the victim. While showering, I thought, if this bottle was so important, wouldn't you know where it is? His dad returned and started arguing again, this time about dirty dishes. I snapped, yelling from the shower that I cleaned the house and washed dishes, even ones I didn't dirty. His dad snapped back, "Let him talk to me, not you." But I kept going because he was deflecting. At my boyfriend's insistence, his dad came to his therapy session. The therapist validated my boyfriend's frustration, telling his dad that even though it's his house, he is still responsible for maintaining it. When his dad said I was just a visitor, I clapped back. Call it what you want, but I've cleaned this house more than you, and you know how you are. And after therapy, we came to an agreement, but as expected, his dad acted petty at home, ignoring us and being distant. His boyfriend is killing him with kindness, but I've decided to stop cleaning or doing dishes since visitors don't do chores. Are we being too harsh on him, or does he deserve this backlash? Based on my experiences and my boyfriend's stories, I think the harshness was warranted. I'm trying to be unbiased, but I feel like his dad's behavior justifies how we've handled it. So let me get this straight. There's some kind of legal thing, which is a reason that you're not able to get a job, and you are complaining that somebody who is letting you live at their house for absolutely nothing is asking for you to have general maintenance of cleaning up after yourself. Am I missing something here, or what? Because yeah, it feels like if there's something that's keeping you from getting a job, you might have done something kind of bad in your past. And you're gonna be acting like this, not chipping in any way, shape, or form, and really just taking up space on the couch. Don't be surprised if one day you're told, get out. My wife, F33, told me, M35, that we should get divorced 3 times this year. Is this fair play for a monogamous, lifelong romantic partnership? How can I trust in us again? My wife has explicitly stated that we should get divorced 3 times in the past 12 months. One was a soft, well, then I guess we should just get a divorce. One was more direct, so we should get a divorce. And the third was a threat. If you don't do XYZ demand, I'm meeting with a lawyer on Monday to file for divorce. 6 months later, we are still together, and she has not taken any real actions towards a divorce. We've started couples therapy again, and she mentioned in a session that she meant it when she talked about getting divorced, that her reasons at the time were valid, and that if the same scenario happened again in the future, she believes divorce would be back on the table. This has caused a huge struggle for me. I thought that with time and healing and therapy, that we'd come to an understanding that we were both in a bad place, and we had been for a while. And what we said and did then were not applicable to who we are today, since we've grown and became better. Let me be clear, both of us are guilty of hurt and harm and failure in the past. I'm not trying to portray myself as some innocent victim. It's not that she threatened divorce that throws me. It's that she still believes today that she was completely justified at that time to make those statements. She said that to say she was sorry for bringing up divorce would be a lie. I'm struggling with empathizing with her on this. It's completely shattered my trust in our relationship. How can I lean on a life partner who committed to be with me through thick and thin when she is provoked to seriously considering divorce during a couple of rough years? The background on us. We've been together for 10 years, married for 8, 2 kids, no previous marriages, nor kids with other partners. No addictions, no bad stuff, no infidelity, no threats of violence, no separation. On paper, our only real conflict is a relational / emotional one. It is a deep, dark, painful, long-standing emotional rift. But that's mostly it. We had a hellish year that involved the loss of 2 close family members. Our dog passed, I lost a job, and some unexpected life expenses really stressed our finances for a bit. The line in the sand of when to end the relationship is subjective, no doubt. I think some pretty understandable and more clear-cut societally speaking, e.g. a PA, I just personally do not view the commitment I made to her 8 years ago as something that could be discarded over a few years of relationship and life challenges. If we live to be 85, we still have the 5th or 6th of our marriage to go. Edit to add content, the people are dying to know. It seems that listing the exact details of what issues we have is required in order to figure out who's wrong and who's right. Yes, I'm being sarcastic and biting with this statement because I personally think weighing the wrongs is a fool's endeavor. Anyways, here it is. 1. I basically ignored her for a little over 2 months, spoke to her for transactional requirements like who's picking up the kids and who's covering dinner, etc., but nothing more. Clearly not healthy, and I've been in therapy to get better at this. This toxic response mechanism has been my trait since we started dating, meaning that she would not have been surprised by this behavior. This was by far the longest shutout of our relationship. 2. We both did all of the typical yelling, fighting, arguing, being rude kind of stuff. Never in front of the kids or out in public. This is freaking insane. Or, I can't freaking believe you. Or, you're seriously going to say that right now? 3. She sees me as overly critical, making her feel dumb and not being emotionally available enough. She also despises my withdrawal response to conflict because she is a classic confrontational, have-at-it kind of person. 4. She believes I do not trust her to make decisions for our family, because I told her that we need to let our nanny go due to financial constraints. She believes I do not have enough concern for the safety of our children when we were deciding how to best prevent them from drowning in the pool. 6. I don't check in on her enough after workdays. We tried to make this a regular habit of ours, but it didn't stick. 7. I was depressed for the first time in my life. I sought help and got therapy plus meds, but this did not put me at my best. But with that, that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!